welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. I hope you had a wonderful weekend watching Zack Snyder's Justice League over and over and over again. I've watched it 9 times by now. And I still have this weird feeling that I just want to watch it again. I don't know if it's is something wrong with me? Do I need help? It's addicting, but yeah, definitely I'm gonna have to go back and watching it probably after I finish this, and while this is loading I'm gonna go watch it again. But yeah, it is quite a weekend. Hopefully good news from the studio side and Warner Media side on whether this thing is successful or not. I'm looking forward to that, but I'm loving all the reactions, whether from the fans once again, but also outside the fandom, verifieds. Geez, Leslie Jones is live tweeting the movie, and she's making hysterical comments about it. But she likes it. She said she likes it. She really likes it. So I think that's really cool to see mainstream go at it. Love it. Snyder Cut Justice League, hashtag Snyder Cut 2, whatever you guys want to use. It's cool. I think they can all gather that the excitement for Zack Snyder's Justice League is a incredible high. But let's get with the topics that came out this weekend. Or actually, you know what? Before we get into that, I have to thank my newest members of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Thank you to Farzid Ali and also, Mr. Stokes, thanks for coming back. And The Boy and Curtis for coming back as well. So, Farzid Ali, The Boy, and our newest members of the Ping Pong Flix Show, thank you so much for joining as members of the Ping Pong Flix Show. All right, let's get into the topics. The first topic of the day is Batwoman. You're like, Batwoman? Why are you talking about Batwoman? Well, Deadline Hollywood and other sites as well says that Batwoman sets Wallace Day as new altered Kate Kane in big reveal. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up because I'm like, Wallace Day? Nisa Vex from Krypton? Oh, wow. Congratulations to her for getting another job at DC. But also disappointed that this kind of means if she's going to be a regular, because Kate Kane was the original, it's Batwoman. Of course, it's Ron Wilder right now, but seeing that they got a new Kate Kane, and it looks like that Ruby Rose thing was more than just her getting hurt. It seems like they just didn't want her anymore, because she still says she wants to come back, but something happened, so whatever. But Kate Kane is now back on Batwoman, I guess, and it's played by Wallace Day. But that makes me sad, because I really thought maybe there's a small chance that Krypton could be revitalized, season 3, on HBO Max or something. But that doesn't seem likely now, if she's going to be a regular and become Batwoman herself, or I'm not sure. I've not watched this episode at all, but we'll see. But congratulations to Wallace Day for getting a new job over at DC. So that's kind of cool in itself, but still sad. I really wanted to see more Krypton. I really wanted to see more Krypton. All right, well, the next topic of the day is Godzilla vs Kong. Now, this is about embargo that has lifted for early reactions for Godzilla vs Kong. So we get a real idea from people who have, was able to see it early for Godzilla vs Kong. This is from Eric Davis. He says, I've seen Godzilla vs Kong and it's grade A awesome. The monster brawls are badass and beautiful. Huge fights, all well designed and super gnarly. Solid story, strong cast, really good score. A true midnight monster movie and my favorite of the 4 modern Godzilla Kong movies. Your favorite? Wow. So it really does beat out King of the Monsters. I'm floored. I think King of the Monsters right now is the best for me, but it looks like this is gonna take that down. Brandon Davis, I watched Godzilla vs Kong on a big IMAX screen, and it was awesome. The movie is a blast. It's like Fast and Furious, but with giant monsters. It's exactly what I wanted to be. Giant fights and just so much fun to watch. It's big, ridiculous, awesome movie. So it sounds like there's a lot of monster fights in here, which I that's the part that I really hope for. Grace Randolph, I got to see Godzilla vs. Kong Friday night. Hilariously, it seems like they're in a bar fight, really. Gorgeous VFX and intricate world building, but many more scenes with puny humans than I was expecting. Oh, so there's still some and it's got to have human elements, but, the monster fights is what I'm going to eventually buy that ticket for, right? Shiraz Faruqi. Godzilla vs. Kong is fun, vibrant, action-packed, energizing. Godzilla vs. Kong lives up to the heavyweight match it is advertised with amazing visual effects and action sequences. This movie's selling a spectacle, and that's exactly what audience will get. Awesome. I can't wait, man. Social media reactions of Godzilla vs. Kong are in, praising its visual spectacle, the jaw-dropping battle scenes, and brilliant VFX. Most of them calling Godzilla vs. Kong a major improvement from the last installment, and even calling it best of the last 4 movies. Oh, yes. So there's a lot of cool stuff people are talking about Godzilla vs. Kong. A lot of other cool things like the IMAX artwork and things like that. So there's definitely a lot of excitement. For some reason, that's not loading right now. But and also the popcorn and the drinks and everything, it looks amazing. Now they're also on the drinks, by the way, if I can find it, on the soda itself, they're actually also teasing already Mechagodzilla as part of the whole deal. So that's already pretty much being given away, as I already shared the toy about that. See, I can't seem to find it, but that's already like, you know what, the cat's out of the bag. We're not going to be in hide anymore. We've got the toys, we've got the goods here. Yes, Mechagodzilla is in the movie, but it seems like a lot of the big reactions is the actual fight between Godzilla and Kong. So looking forward to that. So that's a big thing that's coming out on the 31st of this month. Godzilla vs. Kong. All right, now let's get into Zack Snyder's Justice League. Oh, actually, this is kind of getting into Zack Snyder's Justice League, but I think this kind of gives a little bit more, maybe tinfoil to what we could expect after Snyder Cut in a way, maybe. I don't know, but it is interesting. Like every little hint that we get from future stuff, it starts off with a tweet and a reaction. So maybe this is one of them. So Mike Avila, what? I don't know where he's from. He's a producer for hire, exec producer Todd McFarlane. I don't know, verified. Says, just imagine if the streaming numbers are huge, would Warner Brothers give Zack Snyder the chance to complete his Justice League story? Here's the crazy story the sequel we may never see would have told, New Gods Invasion. And so there was an article in here in terms of IGN about that. And I'll also talk about that later on, about what, not in IGN, but in Esquire. It says, I personally am wondering if Ava's New Gods might pick up somewhere Zack Snyder's Justice League left off, but maybe just focus on New Genesis and Apocalypse. Interesting. I dig that. I'm sure Tom King would be happy to fill in those details for us. Right, Tom? What do you say? Well, he didn't say a word, but he did do this. He did do a wink. And I'm like, wait, what? Say again? Huh. So, let's think about this. All right. So, Tom King is writing New Gods with Ava DuVernay. But from a lot of people I've heard from right now, have said that it doesn't look like it's being greenlit right now. Doesn't look like it's being greenlit. But remember when Debbie Snyder, I think she was on League of Mayhem, she talked about she's excited to work with, like a director she's excited to work with would be Ava DuVernay. And when I remember hearing that, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe there is something to do with New Gods. And now Tom King is kind of doing the wink, gif here. What if it's like that? What if, she's having problems getting New Gods off the ground? And with this success of Zack Snyder's Justice League and seeing how people are responding to the New Gods, right? You respond to dark side, the side, granting goodness here, and how it looks and everything. They're like, you know what? Maybe the best way to get New Gods off the ground is through Zack Snyder, to Stone Quarry. Maybe with some help from Stone Quarry. I know Ava DuVernay has her own production company. Or Is this another route? Tom King working on a new Gods with Stone Quarry rather than Ava DuVernay. I don't know, but this connection, but I think with Debbie talking about Ava, Tom King talking about this, it just seems very interesting. Just seems very interesting. And would be really cool to have it connect that way. Like, I mean, if Zack Snyder's Justice League was supposed to spun off different solo films, right? They were supposed to spun off Aquaman solo, you know, back in the day, Cyborg, Flash, and stuff like that, and Batman. Who's to say it could have spun off to a New Gods to talk about New Gods, Apocalypse, New Genesis, all that prior to actually seeing them in Justice League 2 or even 3. That would be kind of cool. I think that would be kind of cool. So let's keep looking at this, because this is certainly something that could, you know, be another spin-off from Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'm kind of curious about this, in fact. All right. Now, Variety put out this cool little article, and I'm going to try to see if I can click on this here. But, and it's Variety, so I'm really interested in their pieces here. And it's a column, of course, but you know, this is a big trade, and a lot of execs in Hollywood would be reading this kind of stuff. Now it talks about, will Zack Snyder be invited to make a Justice League sequel? The answer is a test of whether Hollywood still works. And there's a whole excerpt here, so I'm not going to read up all of it, but I'm just going to read like maybe the last passages of this thing, like this one right here. Up until now, Warner Brothers has stated that it will continue to make films in the DC Extended Universe without Zack Snyder. Yet Warner now finds itself in a strange position. In 2017, the studio turned its back on Snyder and trashed his vision. Yet it also, in a way, then gave him a second chance. Zack Snyder's Justice League is the movie that shows us, at last, what the DCEU could be. I give props to the executives who, feeling the grassroots pressure of the release to Snyder Cut, agreed to greenlight this project. If there was a trace of cynicism in that decision, I don't see it. They made it possible for Snyder to make the film he wanted to make, and to make a movie that would be something greater than fan service, a movie that would inspire true fan love. Now that that's happened, to leave Snyder by the wayside seems not merely unjust, it strikes me as foolhardy. The Warner Brothers executive will, of course, look at the numbers, at how well the film performs on HBO Max. I suspect the news there will be good. But this can't be a decision based simply on numbers. The mobilization of fans behind release of Snyder Cut was kind of awesome. They were comic book movie geeks who moved a mountain. And now that we've seen the results, their passion to do it again may be even greater. Whatever plan Warner Brothers now has in place, the reality is that plans can change. Minds can change. After Zack Snyder's Justice League, on what planet would an executive have to be on not to want Snyder to make a Justice League sequel? Only on a planet where even the potential artistry of mainstream movie making must always take a backseat to corporate control. I love that. I love this article. It's a great article. It speaks to it speaks on a level, you know, because we can read blogs all day, you know, comicbookmovie.com and stuff. That's all great, and it's out there, definitely. But it's also great to hear from Hollywood trades. And yes, this is a column, but it's still something that is out there that's being shared. I certainly shared it and I liked it. That certainly this is something executives, corporate people would read, because that's to do with their business. This is their kind of like their entertainment weekly to wondering what's going on. You know, executives respond to these when some things are not facts, and they throw in stories. They give away stories to these trades. And so Variety is one of those big ones. It's at most just as big as the Hollywood Reporter, you know. Those two, Variety and Hollywood Reporter. So for them to say something like this is awesome. That means that it's reached a level over up there, and I would expect that to see HBO Max numbers are going to be really good. Everything's all good and dandy. Everybody's reaction is great. People from out of this fandom are saying restore the Snyderverse. They want to see Snyder Cut 2, Justice League 2, JL2, whatever hashtag they want to use now, because they're not in the so it's all an awesome. And I'm just wondering what Jason Kylar is thinking. You know, I would certainly think he is thinking that this is a tremendous success, and I can't wait to see what numbers pops up. Hopefully next week, but we'll see. We'll see how long it takes for them to collect all their data and whatever they need to do to see that, you know what, maybe it's not a cul-de-sac after all. Maybe we were wrong, and maybe let's make some new movies, right? Let's get some sequels in there. Zack Snyder's Justice League has a little bit more bullets to go, not only in the sequels, but in the movie itself. Zack Snyder went over on Twitch, a Twitch channel, I don't remember where, but they released a little clip of you know, Justice is Great. Justice is Great is definitely the black and white version of Zack Snyder's Justice League, and it looks great. I mean, the lighting, the shadows, you know, how incredibly very noir it looks. I just love this look. You know, like I said, I've gone through, you know, some film school, and we've had to watch things in black and white. We had to do things in black and white, everything, even from, you know, CG in black and white. And I always loved this version. I loved it when Mad Max Fury Road had a chrome edition. I love it when Logan had a black and white edition, and I'm definitely gonna take a look at this. Also, you know, again, it was revealed on Meg's show, Wonder Meg. Zack Snyder talked to her and said that there was going to be more lines, probably the We Live in a Society Joker line back in that movie in the Justice is Great. I'm wondering, and maybe some other things are in there. I don't know. So we'll wait and find out, but I can't wait to see this. It's coming soon to HBO Max, and it's another way to, you know, have to repeat watch Zack Snyder's Justice League once again, but this time in black and white. So that's going to be pretty awesome. How's the success so far? I actually went out of order. This should have been after the variety one, but not much yet. But Luis Fernando says, oh, and so it begins. Brazilian online retailer Now, one of the several offerings the Snyder Cut in Brazil, announced the Zack Snyder's Justice League broke their record in rentals, being rented 140% more than the previous record holder ever, which, by the way, was Wonder Woman 1984. So definitely on that front, they're seeing a huge wave, 140% more than the previous record holder. That's only in Brazil. I can't wait to see what other countries are reporting, especially in here down in America. Now, and we're going to have Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3. I think, hopefully, like, I'm still very optimistic that this can happen. I don't know of any exec, except maybe two, that would look at this and say, you know what, let's stop here. Yeah, you know, we don't like money. Yeah, just burn money. You know, like Heath Ledger's Joker. He just starts burning a mountain of money because they love that. I don't know. And if Warner Media sees them burning money, I think that's kind of not the kind of execs you want in your house. I just saying, like, it's just opposite of business, right? So, but MTV News had a video, and Comic Book Now is talking about it, but just to get you an idea of, you know, where it's at in Zack Snyder's mind in terms of Justice League 2 and 3. I have another article right after this, but this is a shorter one. In terms of Snyder, he actually revealed his plans for Justice League 2 and 3, plotted as a two-movie epic uniting the League, the world, and the entire DC universe against the forces of Darkseid in a Lord of the Rings-like finale. And so he said, I'll go look in my books. I probably wrote it down. I do this for all the movies. probably like a page of titles that I tried. So he has a huge page of just titles. But yeah, it probably wasn't going to be just Justice League 2 and Justice League 3 that he can tell you. So it would have had something like Justice League, I don't know. I'm not sure. Like I'm just guessing Justice League Nightmare, Justice League Dark Side War. I don't know. I'm just going to throw those out there, and it's probably one of the titles he has in the book. I don't know. Well, we'll see. But at least that is something he doodled down, and it's definitely something he'll probably pick that up once, hopefully, that when Warner Media greenlights the next ones, right? But what about, the success? What about the sequel? Do you think that he'll return? And he says, once again, look, I don't know what they would be able to, well, frankly, there's no telling what they can do, because they can do anything, apparently. Let's just put it this way. It would be, in my mind, more unlikely for this movie, the Snyder Cut, to exist than another movie to exist. That is to say, it seems more, just from a strategic standpoint, weirder to go back and finish a movie that was already released than to make a new one. But I'm glad they did, and that's amazing. I don't know. So he's a little bit more enthused, not as saying it's not going to happen. I'm not going to do it. He's actually at the point in that where he's like, I don't know, and I don't know what the future holds. So it's like that Dumb and Dumber. So you're saying there's a chance. that's how it's sounding like to me, and I like how that's sounding. Let's get into the Esquire article. This is a big one. Nope, I don't want to sign up. Zack Snyder answers every question you have about his Justice League. So I'm going to read this to you. So it's a nice picture of him with some Justice League in the background. And I'm going to skip all this other part here. You can go ahead and read that if you want to, but I'm going to get into the actual questions here. Along with everyone else, I have a ton of questions about the epilogue too. This was entirely from New Shoot, right? So here's the situation. In that whole sequence, the new is the Batman Joker scene. If this is my last DC movie, okay? If this is my last DC movie, I felt it was going to be rude for me to have never gotten Batman and Joker together in a scene. And so I kind of came up with that scene. The last scene with Martian Manhunter, originally I had shot in England, and the dialogue was very similar, but it was supposed to be one of the lanterns. And then the studio had told me I wasn't allowed to shoot anything, that there would be no film made of any kind. During production, that was the thing they insisted on, and I shot stuff anyway, of course, in my yard, and one of the things I shot was the Green Lantern scene. And then they asked me, when they saw the movie and I saw I put it in there, they'd take it out. And I said that I would quit if they tried to take it out. And I felt bad. The truth is, I didn't want the fans to not have a movie just based on that one stand that I was going to take. And the Green Lantern was Jon Stewart. And that was part of it too. I was like, I don't want to take a person of color out of this movie. I'm not going to do it. But I felt like having Harry Lennox's Martian Manhunter at the end was okay. And I agree. I think Martian Manhunter at the end was really worked out, actually. One of my favorite lines in the epilogue was when Joker, in response to Batman threatening to kill him, says, "You don't want to kill me. I'm your best friend. Besides, who's going to have you a reach around?" It's a solid question, really, if you think about it. So I know Jared Leto can get deep into his roles. Was that an ad-lib? That was an ad-lib. And after he ad-libbed what he was like, that's never going to be in the movie. And I go, you watch. And he did. He put it in the movie. And I know that Ben Affleck sort of stated that he was retired from acting and the role of Batman in particular. Did you kind of have to talk to him into getting into shooting another scene? And he said, I called him up, and I basically was just like, listen, bro, I've been talking to Jared and have this idea for a scene, and I just think I think it'd be cool to see. He was busy, and he was traveling around, but he didn't really hesitate. He was like, yeah, bud, for you, I'll do it. It's so awesome. I love that friendship, man. Ben Affleck, man, I love you, man. That's awesome. The epilogue sets up kind of so many possible spin-offs and sequels. Do you think that the movie will be so successful that sequels will become inevitable? I mean, it's a fun thing to think about. I don't know if it's a reality. I know that the studio doesn't really have any interest, clearly, in doing another movie with me. I also know that it's a product, and the market kind of decides in the end, you know what I'm saying? But I would be very surprised if that happened. Of course, I'm surprised that this happened. So it's hard to say. But as you were putting this ending together, did you have the hope that sequels could happen? I guess it's a careful what you wish for kind of scenario. And I do think that it was a part of the DNA of the thing to create an ending with a cliffhanger. It's the genre. A superhero movie doesn't really have an ending. It has a chapter break, but you never want to close the book 100%. And with the amount of effort that the fans had mustered to get this movie made, and the dedication and the money they've raised for suicide prevention and mental health awareness, I wanted the movie to be hopeful and optimistic, and that included the vision for future movies. What were the other spin-offs that you wanted to make? I'm very sad that I didn't push harder to set up the Cyborg movie before we shot Justice League, because I'd done a lot of work to set up Wonder Woman and Aquaman and to get those movies on their feet. And I really wish I had done that with Cyborg, because he's really on his feet at the end of the movie. He's really ready to go. And I just thought, well, the truth is, I just assumed that it was a no-brainer that a Cyborg movie would be in the works. You know what I mean? It seems like so obvious. Obviously, it wasn't obvious to the studio. So that's the thing. You really wanted to happen. I really did. And I wanted more for the Ryan Choi character. We had talked a little bit about the possibility of an Atom movie shot entirely in China. I thought that was a great idea. Remember, this was a while ago. When we were conceiving of this, it was literally the end of 2015. I was like, let's make a superhero movie set in China with a Chinese star. And Kai Jiang is really charming, and I had a great experience shooting him, so it seemed like a no-brainer. But I don't know why all these things, these concepts, just think about how far down the road we'd be with all this stuff by now, you know? Seriously, how far we would have been, man. Jesus, like, the Warner Bros. Was so worked up in trying to catch up to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The answer was Zack Snyder, and... Anyway. One reason why I love the epilogue so much is because you get to return to this post-apocalyptic alternate future hellscape that Batman experiences in the nightmare sequence in Batman v Superman. Or are you envisioning an entire movie like this? This is what Snyder had to say. So basically, in the alternate future movie, we would have been in the post-Superman anti-life equation world, where the team knew that the only way to fix the world was to run Flash back and warn Bruce to save Lois. And so in that world, the movie was basically going to be about a ragtag group of Justice League members pulling off a crazy mission to steal a mother box from this half-destroyed cathedral in Gotham and get it back to the Batcave in order to use it to power the cosmic treadmill to jump Flash back in time. Crazy stuff. And the night before the big mission, they would have had this Last Supper sort of reckoning, where they would all tell their stories. One of those stories was Joker telling the story of the death of Robin. And Superman, by the way, in the end, he kills everybody except for the Flash. Makes it jumps through time just to escape him. And there was always a fun thing that we were doing where I had this concept for time travel, where the Earth has to be in relatively the same position in space. So you could only jump like once a year, or you would jump into space. Okay, this was a direct sequel. Then the third movie was going to be about after they rescue him or after they send Flash back in time. And then Batman sacrifices himself. That would be as we go into the third movie. And the third movie would have been about the battle between Darkseid and the Defenders of Earth. What? Oh, man. So it's just like their OG storyboard, but different in some sense. I know you mentioned a Cyborg solo movie. Were there other spin-offs that you were thinking of, like Martian Manhunter or Deathstroke, or even like a Man of Steel 2? Yeah, well, I had just assumed that the final movie was going to be very much a Superman movie. Like the final chapter was going to be a large percentage of Superman to just bookend the whole thing. Because if Batman died, it would have very much fallen on Superman to be the de facto leader. By the way, at that point, Wonder Woman would have been made Queen of Themyscira, and she would be leading the warriors of Themyscira into battle against Darkseid itself. Oh my god! And Arthur would be leading the armies of Atlanteans, and Superman basically is going to be the head of the Justice League and the armies of men. And so Superman would have gone from this kind of berserker Superman to a benevolent Superman. Superman has the hugest arc of everybody because he goes from the main villain to like the main hero. And that struck me as just really cool and fun, like a really interesting trajectory for him, because I think traditionally Superman is one of those characters that people don't see as changing a lot. You know what I mean? He's kind of a rock that everybody props up against. And I just thought, how cool would it be to make our Superman the character that goes on the most incredible journey? I want this so bad. Superman. He was going to be the man. Oh, Justice League 3 was going to be a full-on freaking Superman movie with Justice League in it. Oh, and did you have those stories of how Aquaman and Harley Quinn and Lois Lane died? Were you going to shoot those deaths, or were they going to be explained through dialogue? No, we were going to shoot those. Oh. And they would have had elements of what Cyborg sees. So in Justice League, okay, we already know the answer. She's definitely pregnant, so I don't have to read that. So, and yeah, we see a little bit. Oh wait, this is different. So when you see them moving back to the house, and Batman briefly before it cut says congratulations to Clark Kent, that's in reference to the pregnancy? Yeah, you see, I always wanted Barbara Gordon to come into the movies. Commissioner Gordon would be on the way out, and we have Barbara starting to play a bigger role. My idea was that after Batman sacrificed himself, there would be a window where there was no Batman. And I thought Barbara could fill that until the child of Superman and Lois, who has no powers, would become Batman when he was of age. The new Batman. Whoa. That was the idea anyway. It just seems to make sense. Then, of course, Barbara could have been his mentor, but who knows? That's all just, yeah. See, now we're just wishful thinking. And you bet we are. Damn it. Damn it, what could have been, you know? But, you know, what could still be? Yes. That Superman aspect, I'm just blown away. I mean, I would definitely love to see that. I'm sure Superman fans as well would love to see that. He would be the Superman that would... Damn it. Anyway, but it does seem like, you know, Zack Snyder is certainly in the driver's seat now, and I hope so. This was a Vera post he did today. Sunday Drive just got her back from the shop. You know, if you want to put some tinfoil, maybe he got the DCEU back from the shop. Justice League 2 back. Not just the car. Maybe the car symbolizes his vision in a way. And he just got her back from the shop, and he's in the driver's seat now. Whoa! Yeah, okay, that's tinfoil for you. But you know what? I've survived with it. I've lived with it. And it's been here this whole time. I guess I'm not going to stop using it at all. Restore the Snyderverse now. All right. That is it, pretty much. Let's get into the members' comments and questions now. Like I said, if you want me to read your comment or question, please join down as a member down below. And also leave a comment or question so I can read it. All right. Bola Minomi. Chris, Jarrell's words feel almost prophetic now. You'll stumble. You'll fall. But in time, they'll join you in the sun. Yes, it does seem like that now. As happy as I was seeing Jared on the Colbert show, I am still a little salty because I remember his tweets about Zack's point of view on Batman. Zack's point of view on Batman. I don't remember any of that. Jared's or Stephen Colbert. Restore the Snyderverse. Yep, Warner Brother Pictures doesn't want the Snyderverse to undermine what they got planned. But it's too late. It already has. The cat is out of the bag now. Let's wait and see. I mean, even the promo for Zack Snyder's Justice League was better than what was done in 2017. Those customized TV spots with the custom music just had me on the edge of my seat with each release. In contrast, Disney Marvel deserves their great success. They are unified with their organization. The Falcon and Winter Soldier is a great show and will be a well-deserved hit. They're always ahead of the curve. I have not watched that. Warner Brother Pictures, Warner Media, AT&T have a civil war going on within their ranks, and it's obvious. There's just no unity. That's the problem. Had they not screwed with Snyder when filming Justice League, the whole franchise would have been in a better place right now. A 3-hour version of Snyder could have hit all the right notes and let us wanting more. It's funnier, it's lighter, but also still Snyder style. But that's all water on the bridge now. HBO Max, AT&T have lightning in a bottle right now. They're stupid if they don't continue to capitalize on that. I have zero interest in anything else on HBO Max. Suicide Squad, Gotham PD, spinoff, Peacemaker, I don't freaking care. The fact that so many people worldwide are trying to watch this film and the servers keep crashing is a good thing. And one final note, Ray Fisher was right. The Snyder Fisher interpretation of Cyborg is resonating with people worldwide, and I'm sure Warner Brother Pictures is panicking about it too. Warner Brother Pictures has a well-earned PR nightmare on their hands. The new hashtag should be Ray Fisher was right. And you know what? I'm wondering now. Maybe this first weekend, Warner Media is like calling the phone and they're like, yes, can you get me Walter Mata, please? He's not in the office. Oh, well, where is he? He called in sick. Okay. Well, okay. What about Toby Emmerich? Is he there? He's not there either. Oh, he's called in sick as well. Okay. They're at home. Oh, okay. Well, if they're at home, please tell them, make sure they're watching Zack Snyder's Justice League right now because it's way better than what they put out before. Yeah, I know it's not Walter's fault, but Toby definitely, he's going to have to see that. Yeah. Yeah, of course, yes. And fuck Joss Whedon too. Thank you, bye. So, I don't know. I don't know. I'm wondering how they thought about the movie. Is it just me, or if it wasn't for the reshoots, we wouldn't have gotten a proper nightmare sequence? I also feel like Zack lied a bit to us when he said that what we saw from and it's not loading now, I don't know what we saw from the movie, he intended to make in the trailers, and on Vero was only the tip of the iceberg. I feel like there wasn't much left for us to see in Zack Snyder's Justice League. It was all teased on Vero. I also feel like that's why he added Martian Manhunter to the end, Joker in the nightmare sequence, because he knew there was not much new stuff left to see for the true fans. I also feel like it should have been more about Superman and his death and less Cyborg. I would have loved to see Martha have a conversation with her son, asking things like, where were you, Clark? Did you see your father's up there? Still, I love the movie. I love Zack Snyder with all my heart. Now we need the true Justice League, the one that was supposed to be shot before all the BVS mixed reviews. No, I don't think he lied at all. It was the tip of the iceberg. And you know what? When he posted that, there was no trailers and TV spots and all this stuff. So you may have just look too deep into it if you were a little bit not happy about it. But and he's always said Cyborg was going to be the heart of the movie and the main character pretty much. So no, to me, I didn't feel like he lied at all, and I think that worked out well. Am I the only one who felt bad for Steppenwolf? I'm crazy. When Desaad was bullying him by reminding his debt. Look at Steppy's eyes, those puppy eyes. He just wants to come home, I swear. I was expecting him to cry. Yeah, and you know what? He did go home, though. Head first. Sorry, bad joke. Okay, anyway. Hurrah for the Vanity Fair interview with Zack. He's finally spelled it out for everyone to read. As of the current synopsis for the arc that absolutely won't happen at all, but hope springs eternal, it was going to be Lois and Superman's son, and he's going to end up being the new Batman. Yeah, dog, I was right all along. The only thing at the end, on that end, Lois might already be pregnant before the resurrection because BVS bathtub scene. Now, what's curious is he doesn't have any powers. It's worth noting that Clark didn't get his powers for a bit as a child. However, as a baby, he struggled to breathe. I'd say Bruce Kent's human genes ensures he won't struggle with health like that, but since he's not fully Kryptonian, his powers are far less obvious. Perhaps something along the lines of Bruce Willis and Unbreakable. He can't be hurt, he's very strong, that sort of thing. In short, the perfect boost for a Batman who knows maybe he can glide and just hasn't explored it. Well, first things first, let's restore the Snyderverse first, and then maybe we'll find out a little bit more about a new Batman later on. Chris, your mic is set way too low, pal. Is it? I did not know that. This troubles me. Euxis found the anti-life equation on Earth, but defeated the first Trent Unity of the Defenders of the World. It was a big defeat. How come the people of Apocalypse forgot about Earth? I never forget the kid who took my ice cream in preschool. That's hilarious. Never forgot the ice cream in preschool. Could it be that Apocalypse, that Euxis, is no more in the present? Could it be that this Steppenwolf, Darkseid, and Apocalypse are from another universe, multiverse concept? Could it be in the vastness of the multiverse, only one Earth, Snyderverse, has their anti-life equation? I found it weird that Amazonians would just throw the term their universe, Steppenwolf saying multiverse, etc. Actually, Scott McClellan actually talked in depth about this actually on the Bible study, and I loved what he said. I definitely loved how he talked about it, in which he's saying, you know what, it's the multiverse, there's many worlds, and it could possibly be, the mother box was the GPS. So I'm going to link that in the description. The Bible Study Episode 2. I was with Justin and Alex Lynch and Scott McClellan, and we talked at length about different things. And one of the things that was brought up that Scott had incredibly really put out a great explanation for that. Check that out indeed. That's going to be that's an eye opener. It was for me. I love how Alfred's personality juxtaposes with Bruce and Diana. He shows tough love for Bruce and shows hospitality towards Diana. The Snyderverse will exist. It has to. We'll need to get Bugs Bunny to dig that. Let's see if we reach a rabbit hole deeper. Restore the Snyderverse. Bruce and Alfred's interactions and jabs at each other are very reminiscent of James Bond and Q. Yeah, it does. That's kind of cool. It does in a way like that. But it's always that relationship of Alfred and Bruce is always really awesome to see on screen. Hey, Chris, here's a thought about what played like a key vital moment. We've already seen Lois going to Heroes Park, noting to the cop it's one last time. Then we see the League prepping for the resurrection. And then we suddenly cut back to Lois. She tenses as a smile appears. Then fades, then comes back as she turns. I can't help feeling that we're meant to really pay attention to this one moment, cutting back to her when the resurrection is happening. The simplest explanation, a feeling of joy is filling her as she struggles because she can't understand why. Then she lets it happen, knowing in her heart that Clark will always be with her, she just doesn't know yet. The other explanation, if we assume she is pregnant already, Clark, you're going to be a father. I wish you were here for this, but I'll tell him about you so he'll know you. He will. This is the one that I'm going to go with because this happens after, finding out she was pregnant. So, yeah. Zack Snyder's Justice League is hitting record sales on VOD in Latin America. Awesome. Thank you, Latin America. In the history lesson, one scene gave me goosebumps. It was when Yalen Gur, Green Lantern, dies and the ring stops in front of Darkseid rather than moving away from him like in Justice League. Imagine Darkseid getting hands on a Green Lantern ring. That would be crazy. Also, did you notice they played the initial part of A Beautiful Lie soundtrack of BVS in the Batman Joker scene? It was done very subtly but so haunting. Lastly, if they don't use the At the Speed of Force soundtrack when Barry saves the world in the Flashpoint movie, I'm gonna riot. That scene gave me all the emotions you can have at one moment. I love that song as well. It's really cool and it's really heroic and it's awesome. I don't know. I probably doubt Andy Muschietti is going to use that at all, but we'll see. I watched Justice League 7 times. 2 out of the 7 watched me. That's funny. I'm a huge Superman fan. He's my #1 character above all. So when I saw the Supes versus Justice League's Fantastic Five, I was blown away. So much more than in the theatrical version. It shows Supes using Aquaman's trident to dislodge Cyborg off his chest while throwing all 3 away in order to get to the Flash. I always thought that scene was awkward in the other version, but now Supes flows evenly into his attack of Flash. That little sidestep slap on the rear to help propel Flash into Aquaman was brilliant and funny. That was hilarious. I cheered, though I was alone. This version of Wonder Woman is the greatest. Cheetah wouldn't stand a chance against her, not for a second. Wonder Woman interactions with Alfred was gold. Hell, Alfred changed my opinion on him. I always thought the best Alfred was Michael Caine, especially with his exchanges with Nolan's Batman. Scar is pretty good. I loved Cyborg, of course. Ezra's Flash was much better. He was elevated in this movie. Definitely loved all his scenes, especially his final run in the epilogue with that big smile. Bruce Wayne was perfect by Ben. Felt bad for Steppy. His facial expressions were on point. All he wanted to do was go home. Good villain. Darkseid was intimidating. Ray Porter had a cameo in there as well. Yeah. Sorry for being long-winded. I don't have the friends who are into the comic world. Glad I stumbled upon your channel. Oh, one more question. Why did Dr. Choi think Batman has connection to case 61982? He asked Silas that at Star Labs. I think that's because when shown a picture of that's in the Star Labs, in that, where people were quarantined, they showed a picture of the Parademon. Someone drew a picture of Parademon, and it looks like Batman. So I think that's why he says, does he have anything to do with Batman? That's the reason why. Throwing back to Aquaman, Cyborg, Justice League ready for round 2. Hell yeah! Bring on Justice League 2 and 3. Restore the Snyderverse. That Jackie Chan action with your phrase. Oh yeah, I like to put these little stories out, and I'm using Reface app to put me or Zach or anything else on it. So it's kind of fun to do that. Okay, every member brought their A game, and Vic was definitely the heart, but Barry was the soul. Without him, there's no hope to reset things. Yeah, everybody did their part. Fallen, risen, reborn, next, restored. I like that. Look at all those hashtags there. Another hidden future hero often forgotten about, Cal Swanwick's longtime sidekick in Man of Steel and BVS, Major Carol Ferris, who in the comics becomes Star Sapphire. Like a Star Sapphire is often a villainess in the comics, it's purely based on personal issues with Hal Jordan, feeling he's betrayed their relationship. It would certainly be interesting to see Star Sapphire as Martian Manhunter's sidekick, just don't break her heart. I was thinking about her, and I know the spelling of her is a little bit different, from Ferris and Ferris. But I was kind of like, well, she didn't appear in Zack Snyder's Justice League, so I didn't put her in it because it's definitely the seeds that were planted in the actual movie, and she didn't appear in the movie. So I was like, okay, I can't include her. How about Lobo? Although I cheated with the Nightmare, Birds of Prey, but whatever. Lobo, yeah, I don't know, that would be cool. So Chris, are we going to have Justice League 2 and 3, or what's the scope on that? If you heard anything, or how are the numbers as far as Zack Snyder's Justice League? What is the number for AT&T for them to greenlight second Zack Snyder's Justice League? I don't have any scoops for that, but Grace Randolph said today that Jason Karlar is pretty damn happy about the reception so far. So let's wait till this week to see if anything happens. In terms of the numbers. I tweeted to you, but here's a great theory about Darkseid forgot about the anti-life equation being on Earth. Oh, okay. I'm going to have to look into that a little bit later. What if Yara now, because Donna is same age as Nightwing, Yara is John's age roughly. Yara Floor? Interesting. Long time no speak, Chris. Hope you're keeping well. Was Zack Snyder's Justice League worth the wait? Yes, absolutely. It had unreal expectations, and it lived up to the mythological status it developed before hitting our screens. As Zack Snyder's Justice League supporter for many years, Wales representative on the 18th, just gone, Mr. Stokes and Mrs. Stokes and Baby Stokes kicked back and watched this 4-hour film. Feel dreadful calling it as a film, as it's more than a film. It's a work of art, and more to the point, history. What is the definition of the future, Chris? A period of time following the moment of speaking or writing, time regarded as still to come. And I'll leave you with this phrase: restore the Snyderverse, Mr. Stokes channel. Hey Chris, give Walter a call and give these sequels greenlighted. Appreciate it. Thanks for all you do, bro. I'm trying. He's not answering. I think he's collapsed from watching Zack Snyder's Justice League and just realizing how awesome it is. Honestly, I have a suspicion. Warner Media AT&T has secretly met with Snyder, and they are literally just waiting for the numbers to come through. I mean, Joe Manganiello has been silent, and now he's spilling the beans just to purge his frustration? Nah, this is all too suspicious. It's coming. I have a deep feeling the follow-up is coming next 6 months from now. Things will change. Public officials, actors, just anyone and everyone is watching this situation with interest. Warner Brothers Pictures always wanted to compete with Marvel. Well, now here's their chance. AT&T are just waiting for the numbers to come through. I say do a streaming series, revamp the story a bit to recount for the 4 to 5 year gap between the ending of Zack Snyder's Justice League and now, then just keep it rolling. Yeah, I'm really waiting to see all that data. Zack Snyder's Transformers indeed needed right now. That would be kind of cool. Zack Snyder's Transformers, would he do that? That would be pretty neat. His take on Transformers. Hey Chris, firstly I want to say congratulations to all the fans that waited this long for the movie. I'm still a little shocked that it's been released and that I've been able to watch it several times over, though sadly for us in Canada it wasn't available in 4K UHD, only 720p. Whoops. I've noticed something that I'm interpreting as ironic justice and resilience, and it has to do with the additional footage Zack shot for the film. If you compare the picture characteristics of the nightmare scene and Bruce meeting Martian Manhunter with the rest of the film, as well as the nightmare sequence in BVS, I got the sense that they were shot on digital cameras rather than being shot on film, like the rest of the film was. Now, there could be a combination of reasons as to why this footage was shot digitally. For example, it would have been time restraints with processing and editing the reels, unavailability of equipment, budget concerns, or none of that, and it's simply an artistic choice. I only speculated it was shot digitally until I saw some photos and videos from behind the scenes of him filming the scenes, and I saw Zack was indeed holding a digital camera. My point being, I find it beautifully poetic that whether Zack had to or fully intended to shoot the additional scenes digitally, as it's nearly unnoticeable, and in a way it works with the context of the scenes, whereas it's an exact opposite with a theatrical cut. Near the entire film was reshot with digital cameras, and it was one of the main things that distracted people as they watched the movie switch from reshot digital footage back to original footage shot on film. There's more to it than that, but you get it. I like to think Zack made this conscious decision to shoot these scenes digitally because, to me, intended or not, it needs build depth and reflects the state of mind and commitment, focus, or devotion the characters have in the scene, contrasted with the diametrically opposite environment they're in. Clarity in the state of urgency in hell, but also it acts as another fuck you to Warner Bros. And the events that happened in 2016, 2017, because he does it better. Try to keep that as short as possible. Hope it makes sense. Yeah, I've had that question asked for before, and I think I really did find the answer last time, and it really was just like it was easier. Like it's just, he thought it was cool. Like it was just like, yeah, I can just use this digital camera, but it works out because he's able to do all, it's the way he shot it was beautiful in a way. It was like a hellish dream. The way it blurs and focuses and unfolds, it's like it looks beautiful because it looked like you were having some feverish dream, and that's exactly what Bruce was doing. He was having a feverish dream. Of course, that also comes out to the lake house area as well, so that, but it's bright and everything. So but I remember him kind of just saying that I think it was just easier. Okay, but thank you so much for all your comments and questions, and definitely it's this week. This weekend's over. I'm hoping that everything went well, that the numbers were incredible, and hopefully we find out something that they can report on Monday or even this week. So we'll have to wait and see about that. But I am optimistic at this point that it would be pretty silly and foolhardy, like that Variety article, that they don't make a Justice League 2 and 3. So I'm just saying, it's gotta go. It's gotta come. It's gotta. Definitely. Restore the Snyderverse. Restore the Snyderverse.